I went from 900 followers on March 22nd to over 100,000 followers on October 4th and made over 6 figures in my content and consulting agency, not because I was the most educated, but because my presentation of information was the best. I didn't just make information-based content or entertaining content. I made something new called infotainment content, where I wrap everything I teach. Have you seen any of these videos?
Never pin your viral visit at the top if your Instagram is meant to grow your business. Because what's viral gets viewers, not buyers. So here's what I would do going into Christmas.
Now, I'm not here to tell you how to rap better than Eminem, but how to master the art of infotainment content to make your content impossible to scroll past. Because if you want to grow on social media as a business owner in 2026, it's not just about giving information anymore. That's not enough, because every creator you see in 2025 is out there giving tips, giving tricks. But the ones that are actually blowing up and building a real personal brand and not just an Instagram following are the ones that entertain while they teach. So today in this YouTube video, I'm gonna share with you the 3U framework for creating thumb-stopping content and my personal STD method I use with my clients to hook viewers in, lock them in, and turn them into buyers so you can find your own flavor of infotainment content that nobody can copy. Now, before I show you how to do this, you need to understand what infotainment actually is. Most people hear that word and they think it means be funny on camera. Which that's not it. Infotainment content is combining information with entertainment in a way that's only unique to you. It's not choosing between giving information or doing entertainment. It's about doing both at the same time in a style that nobody else can duplicate or replicate. Think about it like this. There's over 1 million creators in your niche teaching the exact same information that you do. They're giving the same tips, same strategies, and same pieces of advice. So why would someone follow you over them? It's not because your information is actually better or more unique. Everyone has access to the same information. Google exists, ChatGPT exists. So the only way to actually stand out is to present that information in a way that's impossible to ignore and impossible to scroll past. For me, it's wrapping everything that I teach. If you look in the content marketing space, you'll know that no one else in my space actually does that, which means that nobody in my space can actually copy me. And even if they copy me, the pace simply won't be the same. But you, on the other side of the screen, you don't need to rap. You need to just find your version of what rapping is for me. Now, let me explain why this actually works. Social media platforms forever have only cared about one thing: watch time, which is keeping people on the app as long as humanly possible. The longer people scroll and the more ads that they show you, the more money they're going to make for the longer that you're on the platform. So the algorithm will push content that will keep people watching. And the problem with pure information-based content is that it's just too skippable. Someone sees a tip that they already know, they scroll. Someone gets the answer in the first 5 seconds of your video and they scroll. Someone gets bored because you're just talking at them instead of talking with them, and guess what? They will scroll. But when you add some form of entertainment to your content, you create what I call scroll resistance. Everyone knows that the information is the same, but they stay on your video because they want to see how you present the same information. They want to experience your style. They want to experience your personality, your own form of entertainment and delivery. And when people watch longer, the algorithm will push your content to more people and more of your ideal clients. Now, the second reason why this works is just basic human nature. Think about it like this. People, and you on the other side of the screen, you don't just remember information. You remember how information ultimately made you feel. Think about school. When you were back in university, high school, middle school, or maybe even elementary school, you probably forgot about what 90% of your teachers taught you. But you do remember the teachers that actually made learning fun. The teachers who actually had personality, the ones who told stories. It's the same thing on social media, Instagram, TikTok, and even YouTube where you're watching this video. When you entertain while you educate, you ultimately become more memorable. And when people remember you, they'll follow you, trust you, and eventually pay you. This is why creators who look and sound like everyone else will ultimately struggle. They're just too forgettable. And that's exactly why people, when they see their video, they scroll past them. But the creators who actually have a unique presentation style, they build audiences fast and ultimately build real personal brands that can become profitable for their online business. Let me show you some examples. Think about the creator Miss Excel. She teaches spreadsheet tricks, literally one of the most boring topics on the internet. But she does it while dancing to trending songs. Her first viral video matched Excel's left and right functions to Drake's Tootsie Slide dance because the lyrics said, "Left foot up, right foot slide." That's not random. She actually engineered that connection before she ever hit record. The information is the same as everyone else. You probably learned it in school. So anyone can actually teach Excel functions, but nobody else will think to pair it with choreography and dancing in a unique way that she did. So even if you copied her, the pace wouldn't be the same. And you don't scroll off the video because you're shocked. You stay because it works, and you follow because you learn something in a way that's enjoyable. And Miss Excel, she went from filming in her childhood bedroom to building a multi-million-dollar info and course business, even though she teaches the same information as everyone else, but she does it with an entirely different experience. That's her own style of infotainment content. For Miss Excel, she dances to teach software and Excel functions. For me, it's rap and songwriting since I've done that since the age of 5. But the real question is, what is it for you? That's exactly where most people get stuck. They know they have to stand out, but they have no idea how to actually find their own style of infotainment content. What information can I teach in a way that's entertaining and unique to me? So let me give you a framework. I call it the 3U method. I need you to write this down. If you have a pen, a pad, if you're in Google Docs or Notion, take notes on this because this is some real game. Your style needs to be unique, it needs to be usable, and it needs to be undeniable. Let's start with unique. Unique just means that it differentiates you from everyone else in your space. So for example, if you see everyone else in your space, in your industry, doing the same talking head videos, the same editing style, doing the same thing won't actually make you stand out. Something needs to be noticeably different about your content and your posts on social media. Maybe it's about how you speak. Maybe it's how you say certain things. Maybe it's your personality. Maybe it's the visual elements you use in your video. Maybe it's the props you use in your videos that you use to explain things visually. Maybe it's a format that nobody uses. Maybe it's your background, maybe it's your setting, maybe it's your location. However you can change your presentation, that's exactly what will make you unique in your industry. Now, let's get to the second U. The second U stands for usable. This means you can do it consistently and predictably. I can say this because some people, especially my clients, they create elaborate styles that take them 10 hours to make one video, and that's not sustainable. That's exactly why they give up on social media. So I can say for you, your style needs to actually be something you can execute on without burning out for every piece of content. Now for me, rapping is actually not easier, but it's more enjoyable than scripting content because the rhyme scheme forces me to be creative, and I like being creative since I've done that since the age of 5. It's unique and it's usable, but you can't forget about the third U, which means your style needs to be undeniable. When people see your content, they need to know that it's you. They need to ultimately recognize you before they even see your name, even if they're just scrolling on Instagram. That's when you know you've nailed it. But you might be asking, Carson, how do I find something that fits all three? Let me tell you step by step. Step number 1, you need to list 5 things that ultimately make you different and unique as a person. This could be your background, your personality, your skills, your interests, your quirks, anything that's just weird about you. Now for me, I've always loved hip hop. Like I said, since the age of 5, my mom found out that I could write music when I was typing on Microsoft Word. So ultimately, when I started rapping in my content, it wasn't forced, it was natural. But you cannot forget about step number 2, which you need to list 5 presentation styles that you've seen work in other niches. And do not skip this part. Because you're unique does not mean that people will actually want your style of content. You need to see it in other niches. For example, people actually rap their own style of content in other niches, just not content marketing. So I saw that in different industries, people were making songs about what they taught, and that was how they presented their own information for their videos. I studied how they presented it, what ultimately made it compelling, what was the things that they did to actually make their videos unique and make it watchable over and over again. But I couldn't forget about step number 3, which is finding the intersection. Think about it like a Venn diagram. You have presentation styles and you have things that make you unique, and combine them. Where do the things that make you unique overlap with the presentation styles you've seen work in other niches? The intersection is where your style of infotainment lives. Now, I want to set proper expectations with you. This takes time. I remember when I came up with my rap style, it actually took me 4 hours of me just brainstorming in my room about it. And you might not nail it on the first try. It took me 35 videos to get my first viral video with the rap style. But when I hit 10,000 views on that first video, I was able to take that same format. It hit 100,000 followers in 6 months from 900 followers. That's how I can say that everything will change. Your content will become magnetic, your growth will ultimately become easier, and it'll feel unique to you. It won't feel forced or like you're copying anyone else. and ultimately no one can compete with you. Now, once you have your own style, you need to actually structure your content so that it performs, because an idea that isn't executed well is just a good idea. It's not a good video. So you want to use what I call the STD method. And now, this doesn't stand for the real STD, which is sexually transmitted disease. It actually is meant to bring you more ease to your content process because it stands for these three things: stop, teach, and demonstrate. Stop is where you tell the viewer to stop making a common mistake that they make in their industry. It has to be a narrow problem. And this is where you get them to stop scrolling, because you're essentially using a negative hook. Now, what's a negative hook, you might ask? A negative hook is simply where instead of telling people to start doing something, it's to stop doing something. And the reason why this works is that humans actually pay more attention to avoiding pain than gaining pleasure. And Harvard actually verified this. They did a study and found that negative headlines actually get more clicks than positive headlines for news. So instead of just saying, do this to grow on Instagram, or to get big glutes, or to get big biceps, you need to saying, stop doing this if you actually want to grow your Instagram, grow your glutes, or actually get swole in 2026. The negative framing will stop the scroll, since people want to avoid the pain instead of gaining pleasure. But you can't forget about the T, which is teaching, and the teaching is essentially your reasoning. You want to say why the common mistake they're making is actually bad. And me personally, I actually like to use analogies here. I made a video about why you should stop watching yourself record, and in this video I explained that you should stop watching yourself record because it's like
going on a date with somebody and not even looking at them face to face. So here's how to always make eye contact
by your social media pages. That's what made the lesson stick, because I told people how it was like going on a date, which everyone can relate to that. But you can't forget about the D after the S and the T. And it's not the D that you're probably thinking of right now. It stands for demonstrate. It's where you show them what to do instead and exactly how to do it within actionable and practical steps they can implement immediately. So, in my video about the red timer, I said,
go to the camera app that's in your phone, and instead of staring right at your face, just look at the red timer in the zone, right at the top and beside 4K. Now you'll be looking at the viewer straight.
That's exactly what I said in the video. And then I ended it off with a promise. A promise is where I essentially gave the viewer an outcome that they can expect as a result of implementing my steps, right? This could be, now you'll be looking at the viewer straight, or at the end of the video I said, now your video looks fire because of the red timer. And then I ended off with the CTA, call to action, where I said, keep shining and follow. That's essentially the structure that can work time and time again for your videos. Stop, teach, demonstrate, and then make a promise to the viewer, and then end it off with a call to action, if you so please. The structure works for short form, it works for long form, and it works regardless of your style. So let me bring this together. If you want to win on social media, you need two things: a style that makes you impossible to ignore, and a structure that makes your content impossible to scroll past. The 3U method will give you the style, and the STD method will give you the structure. You have your own style of infotainment content. Content that educates people and entertains them at the same time in a way that only you can deliver. This is exactly how I went from 900 followers on March 22nd to over 100,000 followers in just 6 months. And I use this system with every client I've worked with. But let's say you don't even go viral. My client Dejan was able to close a $60,000 deal directly from content, thanks to the content that we helped him put out. And my client Arasha was able to sign 2 clients in 24 hours on a $5 a day ad budget, thanks to the ad creatives we helped her produce. So the system works, but only if you work. And the only thing things work is if you delegate or get educated. Now, if you're a business owner and you've just started your offer, you may just be figuring out your price points. You haven't gotten many customers yet, but you still want to create content on social media that can get you customers and clients. I actually created a school community called the Coach with Content Academy, breaking down the exact frameworks I used to get from 900 followers on March 22nd to over 100,000 followers on October 4th in 2025. You can pretty much learn everything: the foundations of content, how to get ideas for your content, how to structure your content, produce your content, and ultimately perfect your content. And the best part is if you upgrade to a VIP member in the group, you can get live video reviews from me personally. You can click the second link in the description to join the Coach with Content Academy to get more customers and more clients. But if you're an established business owner that's ready to delegate and you want to focus on building your business while I focus on building your brand, me and my team have personally reopened our Done For You service, where you can essentially white label my team to research, script, edit, and upload short form content to where all you have to do is film 1 to 2 hours a week on camera and convert the followers that come to your page through DMs, through sales calls, or however you take appointments. If you want to learn more about the Done For You service, you can click on the first link in the description to book a call with my team, or you can essentially meet with us for 30 minutes. We learn about your business, your goals, and ultimately how our Done For You service can help you grow your brand while you grow your business. But if you're still on the fence, you can subscribe to this channel to continue watching content like this, and click on the video you see on the screen about how I hit 100,000 followers in just 6 months. It's a full 34-minute video on how I did exactly that. Keep shining.